All right,
Hola.
we're live.
Hola.
Oh, hey guys, I'm just gonna do our disclaimers really quick. Usually I say, I'm reading this so I don't forget nothing or mess it up. Usually I say, welcome to the seventh episode of Shop Talk, where no convo is off limits as long as we remember to have respect for one another and remember everyone's entitled to their own opinion. But because tonight is about coping with anxiety and depression in the Black community, I wanted to add a little disclaimer that says nobody on this panel tonight is a doctor or psychiatrist. We aren't suggesting that anybody does anything. We're not diagnosing anybody. We have nothing but just our stories about experiences we've had for ourselves or with people. And then I'm just gonna say that we're not gonna, so Trine stepped away, but we're not gonna like give specific names. If you want to speak specifically about your situation or you're dealing with somebody, how you've dealt or coped with somebody with anxiety or depression, that's fine, but we're not speaking specifics or names of other people, just only speaking of ourselves so that we aren't offending anybody or anything. So tonight we have Trina with us and we have Angie with us, and we have a couple other people that might be joining in a little while. So we're not sure. It might just be us, or I don't know. We'll see. All right. With that being said, let's just jump right in here, Angie. Okay, we got.
Hey, Lo.
Wait a minute.
Did you see what I sent you?
No,
Look in the chat.
Adriana, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, there we
Hey,
go. So
Day.
now we have.
How come I can't see you guys though?
You can't see it.
Yeah, I can't see. No, I can't see you either, Lil. I only can see book her beauty bar.
Yeah, like a big picture
What?
Yeah, that's the
of
only
your
thing I can
logo.
see. Yeah,
Oh
that's what I
man,
just text you in the chat.
never, I never get this right on the first go. So give me a second. Let me see. I don't know, you guys. Hold on. Wait till Trina's the technical one. Can you see me now?
No.
No. Uh-uh.
Hey, you need to add
And I don't.
yourself to the stream.
I don't
I
see where it's
did.
at. I
So I
We
think
did
you must
add
I
have
only
you.
have removed. So
take your overlay off. So you
uh
have your banner, you have your background and your banner up, your overlay. You have to
Yeah.
turn that off.
Yeah,
no,
Lil.
I
Yeah.
said I exited. Um,
Now you
nope,
have
I
to
just
add
made it really big. All right, wait a minute. Exit full screen. Wait, I see I'm behind there. What? So how do I take it off? Oh, I go to banner. Duh. Sorry, guys. Wait. Nope. Sorry. Don't talk about me. Uh, is it banner or brand train?
Banner. Is it
it
banner?
has to be because right, it looks like you're not even in this, like you're outside of the stream, but you have to
Yeah.
But right now you
Oh,
have
you
to
see
add.
my overlay.
There
Okay,
you
there
are.
we go.
Hey guys.
Yeah. Hey,
Okay, so
love.
now how I take this
Hey,
off?
Tree. Hey, Noodles.
Hey,
Guys,
you coming, guys? Give me a sec. I'm
how
here,
do I
but
remove the?
you have to change the way you this. Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
There you go.
look at
It's
me.
gone.
I might not know, but I'm figuring it out, you guys.
Tori's in there.
So, all right, so I already did a whole disclaimer when you guys weren't on, saying that we're only discussing either ourselves or like situations with people, but we're not speaking the specific people. We're not naming them.
HIPAA
Any of that.
violation.
Just our experiences in these situations. So, let's start off with this first. Have any of you ever experienced either anxiety or depression?
I definitely have experienced both.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely both. Different times, different reasons, but certainly both.
I have anxiety.
Probably daily. You should.
Yeah,
Oh
I'm
wow.
with you on
Okay.
that one. With the anxiety, but not depression.
Okay. What about you, Ange?
Tori says
Little bit
she's
of
you.
little bit of anxiety.
She can't hear us.
Oh, I see her. Wait a minute. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on one second, guys. This is so hard for me to. You know what happened? I wish I could explain it to you today. I'm so sorry. What happens is when they come in to try to enter them in, the bar is across it, so it's hard for me to. Did I get her in?
Yep, she's in there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then how do I do the screen though?
Hey, can you guys hear me?
All of us. It's all of us.
Hi,
Hi.
Tori.
Sorry.
Hi.
No,
Hi.
not this way.
Lily, what are you? Lily, you better stop.
I'm
You
trying to
say
make
I'm
it. Is
still.
this good?
Yeah, it's
We can
Yeah.
all
perfect.
see each other. Yes.
Okay, good, good, good. So Tori, Adriana, Angie, Trina, myself, Liv. All right. So Trina said she has had issues with both depression and anxiety at times. Adriana says she suffers anxiety. I myself have struggled with anxiety. Um, we're gonna get into the depression because I'm not quite sure about that one. That one's a good one to talk about. Um, so Angie, that's what I was asking you. I
Hmm.
missed it. Have you experienced either?
Oh, I said no. I said I experienced a little bit of anxiety,
A
but
little.
what I do for that is meditation,
Oh, okay, okay.
meditation and praying. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. What about you, Tori? Oh, we need.
Yeah, so I've struggled with both anxiety and depression. And I am not the best coper, I'm not gonna lie. I don't my coping skills aren't like the best, but I find taking a shower helps me a lot.
Oh, okay.
Water.
Yeah, like water
Mm-hmm.
definitely calms me down. Um and just like being like in my own space kind of gives me time to like reflect on how I feel and to think like, is this really how I feel, or is this my mental health talking, you know what I mean?
There we go. Okay. All right. So do we have triggers that like bring it on for anybody, like, or is it just like something that just comes up?
My family is my
Mine's
trigger. Yeah, they trigger me a lot. But specifically my siblings, they trigger my anxiety a lot. It's not even well, maybe not specific. Well, yes, younger people trigger my anxiety. It's like because as adults we're more like careful of what we do and we think about everything through the steps. And so younger kids, it really doesn't even have to be my family, just kind of people who just don't think about like what's gonna come next. Just like reckless behavior and things like that. It like sends me into like a little panic.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Mhm.
For me, I feel like when I realized I never went to the doctor and they're like, "Oh, you have anxiety." It's like I realized at some point that I have it, but once I realized that's what it was, I could look back to like so far back in my life where, oh my God, that's what that was. Like I never knew. I just thought that I was like, um, I don't know, different, I guess, or that I was either like emotional, dramatic, or sensitive and stuff like that. Like I'm, saying all these things, and then years later, I realized like, oh wow, this is 100% anxiety, and I've had it for many, many years. Like I couldn't tell you, oh, I've had it my whole life, but I definitely know I've had it since I was like a teenager at least. Like, but for me, mine is like I feel like it's triggered from I don't know if trigger is the right word. I feel like I've experienced it through situations that have made me worry. Like something happening. Well, first of all, I talked about this a little bit before, like I've experienced a lot of death in my life in my close people close to me. And so I realized from that, like I'm a person that goes from 0 to 100. Like if I can't get somebody on the phone, I'll instantly think death. But I think it's because of years of people actually dying. I don't know, but I'm not sure if I would feel like that anyways. So that's why I wanted to.
I mean, it makes
I've
sense
never
though.
had anybody die. I don't have anyone that like I've never lost anyone super close to me, but I always think of death.
I think the part of anxiety also is worrying. I think a big part of anxiety is worry. And whenever you worry, you correlate it with bad things. Like, that's the first thing you think of. If you can't get a hold of somebody, the first thing you're going to think of is, oh shit.
Did you mute yourself?
No. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay. Sorry.
it makes sense as to why the first thing you would think of is like a negative thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I have things that are like, so when I lived in Wisconsin and I was having a panic moment one time, somebody close to me said for me to ask myself questions like, is this something I can, like, is there something I can do to change what's happening right now? And if not, then like it kind of helped me like to ask myself to pray about it. Don't worry about it. My mother always said that. If you're gonna pray about it, don't worry about it. If you're gonna worry about it, don't pray about it because it's one or the other. So that a little bit I felt like helped me. But what the guy said to me was ask yourself, like, can you change this situation? Is there anything you can actually do right this moment to fix it? And if you can't, then that's when, so for me, I started doing that. Like, can I fix this right now? And my fix is like to go to prayer. It is the only thing I know. And I'm not going to lie and say it's always helped or worked, but a lot of times it has. So, let's see. Tree, where you at? Are you on here?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. I just was going to look, just throwing you in there. Like, how about you? Like, do you have like specific situations or coping techniques or anything like that?
Yeah, of course. I pray about everything. The first thing I do is pray about it, and then I have like a playlist that I use. So depending on what type of energy I'm walking with, like so if I'm like feeling sad due to partner issues, you know what I mean? Then I'll listen to this particular song. If I need to get uplifted, then I'll, if I'm just feeling my spirit is a little bit low, then I'll listen to this group of songs. And so, or I'll go for a walk and listen to music to reset my mind or whatever. So that's kind of what I do. I pray a lot, and then I kind of like let the chips fall where they may.
Okay.
That's really all I know how to do. I trust God enough to say, okay, you said that if I leave, I give it over to you, you're going to handle it. Here you go. And then I walk the hell on.
Right. I don't know if notice, did you say what you do to like how you cope? I'm
I don't cope. No, I don't. I have to just kind of wait it out. Like, I've tried to pray. I've tried to talk myself out of it. I've tried. Nothing works for me. I can't, like, I just kind of have to live through it.
So we're gonna say, so far nothing has worked.
Yeah.
I don't know where your speaker is. I feel like something is giving, like,
Mine?
yeah, like it,
Is it better now?
yeah,
Oh,
whatever it
the
is.
laptop was laying on the
Nope,
blanket.
doing it again.
It
I'm
might be mine
confused.
because I muted my mic and then I unmuted it and then it started again. Hold on.
Are you
Okay, so
playing it
maybe
on
we
two
can
different
all
things?
mute and then unmute as we
Yeah.
speak or something like that. Because I
But
don't know.
it sounds like someone's playing it in the background and you're
Oh,
hearing the feedback.
Corey, are you watching it as we're doing it?
No, I'm just here.
Oh.
No, I don't have it on either. So
Yeah.
Or maybe if you move a little bit further away from your mic, maybe you're too close to your
Maybe
like,
my because my phone is sitting right on top of my computer, so maybe that's what it is. Is this better?
That's
yeah.
what it is. It's
That's what.
interfering. Yeah, your phone is
Okay.
interfering with
Sorry
your
about
computer.
that.
Oh, like the
Yeah.
connection. All right.
All right. So I'm gonna go into, for me, it's kind of, I don't know. I feel like this is interesting because although I deal with anxiety, I don't have depression. What I miss? What I,
no, I just wanted Angie to know I was right
oh,
there with her.
cheers! And you guys say happy birthday to Angie.
Oh, happy
Happy
birthday!
Shout
birthday.
out.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so what I was saying is, although I have anxiety, so I experience that, so I know that it's very real, and not that I think depression isn't real, but I don't know that I've ever necessarily been depressed, and I I'm not sure if I really understand depression. So maybe you guys can help even enlighten me, and let's see where you guys go with this, because to me, I feel like, is it still doing it?
It's doing it again.
Is it?
Okay, it's not me then, because I'm not.
Is your
That's
cell phone next to your computer, Lil?
my cell phone's here, but my cell phone's off. It's not on at all. I'm gonna move it on the floor. Let's see. Is it better? No, it's not. It's not me.
Doing it.
I don't know. It's so weird. I don't like it.
But I don't hear it though.
No, I definitely hear it.
I do too. It's like echoing. Like when you say
Yeah.
something, it goes over. I'm on my computer. I'm gonna try my phone now.
Okay, let's try now. I don't. It's that's been on my nerves, but all right, we're gonna try to just push forward. So, okay, let me see if I can get my train of thought back. I'm sorry. Oh, so for me, I was trying to define, like, the difference between sadness and depression. So me and Trina kind of had touched on this a little bit before time, and I just want to get, like, everybody's feel for it to see, like like. So Tori, you said you've had depression. Trina says she's experienced moments of depression. So for me, I want to know, what is the difference from being very sad and just being depressed, or like what, or is that the exact same thing?
Should I go?
Yeah.
So for me, sometimes it's hard for me to describe what depression feels like because the only thing I can describe is an overwhelming feeling of sadness. But it's not necessarily just sadness. A lot of the times it's combined with like feeling hopeless and like feeling like
Anger.
worthless and like feeling angry and just a whole bunch of like
Agree.
emotions. Like a lot of the times you can't even describe how you feel. Like, and sometimes it's even like trickier because a lot of the times for me, I don't know if this is it's like that for anybody else, but a lot of the times for me, I'm sad for no reason. So I'll wake up and I'll wake up and I'll know that like I'll know how my day's gonna be. Like I've gotten to the point where I can like detect it almost. But it's I don't think it's the same as being really sad. I feel like it's like extreme. It's an extreme like sadness kind of. It's like not like normal, I feel. It's like to the point where it's like, okay, this doesn't feel right. Like it's okay to be sad, it's okay to have bad days, it's okay to have bad weeks, bad months, bad years, you know? But I feel like sometimes it's like you can kind of tell the difference between, okay, this is lasting a lot longer and this is a lot more overwhelming than a bad day or a bad week or something. I don't know if I explained that right.
Mhm.
No, I think that's very good. Because
I
for
get
me,
it.
that's what I was trying to figure out. Like, so does sadness? I mean, I feel like everybody has like a level of sadness um at different times of life. So if something like if I'm sad about something, can that sadness turn into depression? Or is depression, because in my mind, depression is like a diagnosis for a thing. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I suffer with depression. It's
Some
like
people,
a
well,
diagnosis. So
yes, things can turn, like sadness can definitely turn into depression because I feel like for me, it didn't start out as I was just depressed, you know? It started out as my moods were just, I was like irritable, like I was annoyed with everyone all day. And then it's like, okay, I'm super tired now. And then it's like, okay, now I'm feeling the sadness. And then it's like some days I'm okay, but then it's like, you know, like it kind of eases its way into becoming like full on depression. Like people who get
okay.
bullied, like they're normal people one day. You know what I mean? They live their lives. They go to like they start a new school and then they start getting bullied. Like yesterday I was happy. I was fine. I was a normal kid. And today now I'm like sad. And then it's gonna take a while for them to become depressed because it's like, okay, I've been getting bullied for 2 days. Like I'm not gonna become depressed in 2 days. You know what I mean? It's like maybe over the course of a month of constantly being bullied or the month of constantly being sad or I lost my job and it's been a rough month and now I'm falling into depression. You know, I don't know.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. No, I think that's good.
Mhm.
So tell me this.
Mhm.
Is there, do any of you think that there's something that somebody else can do to help you with your depression or your anxiety? Or is it something that you have to do totally on your own?
To me, I
Anybody?
think it's you. There is some, there is someone that you may need to talk to other than your friends and family about certain things that certain issues that you may have, because not all the time we feel comfortable with sharing stuff with our friends, because you tell one person, you be like, don't say nothing, but then they'll tell the next person and be like, don't say nothing, and then they'll tell the next person and and then your business is put out there, and certain things that you don't want out there, you'll just go and you'll talk to somebody else. It's
Mhm.
just like when people sit around and you say, I feel broken, and things like that. But a lot of things, like, over time, I've actually learned that we are responsible for our own happiness. And sometimes we attract certain things in our lives because of our energy.
I
And like,
agree,
I
but I
think that,
disagree.
and
Wait a minute.
well, let me say this. Sometimes we attract certain things in our life because subconsciously we think about certain things that make us sad, or there's certain things that you're thinking about that make you angry. So you notice, like, that's just like certain music we listen to. If we listen to something upbeat, everybody's happy. Then when we listen to like something that's like slow, and then it got you reminiscing on something that happened in the past, now you got tears coming out your eyes. Like, there, like, you can tell like the different energy that you actually contract, because I think about when we were younger, and like things that we were all so happy about. We didn't have a care in the world and everything was good. But as we got older, we started, when you get into relationships and start having children and things like that, your life do become different,
Hmm.
and the things that you go through with your significant other and things like that. But all, as I learned over the years, we are responsible for our own happiness, because nobody can keep you sad. I mean, let me just say this. If you have a loved one that has passed away, that's different. But being in a relationship and things like that, and we end up becoming depressed about it, we end up becoming sad about things like that, we are responsible to change the way we feel. Either you change that and be happy and contract that happiness back into your life, or you remain in that same spot and you contract all that negative energy. That's why when we were younger, when our parents used to say one bad apple will spoil the bunch, all of us got in trouble together. There wasn't not one of us that didn't get in trouble. But I'm just saying, we were all okay. This is my girl, so I'm riding with her. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's just what it was. But I'm just saying, like, we do, like, if you don't want to be into a certain relationship, you have to find a way to get out of it. And I'm pretty sure all of us at one point, and I'm not saying you noodles, but I'm just saying, for my age group, we have all been in a bad relationship that will stress you out, that will actually make you depressed, and things like that. Been there, done that. And I'm not ashamed to say it. But I'm gonna say, was I depressed? I was probably almost getting to that point, but then I had to snap out of it, because I kept on saying, well, maybe I'm broken. I'm broken. But no, I'm not broken. I have to learn to love myself, and excuse my French, but fuck everybody else. Love yourself, love your children, but don't love that person that's bringing that bad energy into your life. That right there, you have to get rid of that, at some point, if you want to be happy, if you don't want to be sitting around here dwelling on stuff and being sad. We make ourselves sad by dwelling on the past or things that have happened in our lives. We make ourselves that way. But if you ever notice, if you go to bed having a very good dream, and you go to bed on a very good note, like she said, water makes her feel good. Have a bottle of water before you go to bed, take your shower, say your prayers, meditate, whatever it is, read a Bible verse. I tell you what, when you get up the next morning, you feel totally different. You feel good. That's why I
So
try to keep myself. Go on.
the thing, I think that's um the misunderstanding that people have with depression. I don't suffer from depression, but I have people in my life who do, and multiple different people, and so I see
Hmm.
them, and so my way of thinking, like, before, was the way that Angie was basically explaining it. But then after dealing with these people like one on one, I come to realize that it's kind of like you're trying to, like me, or like for what I believe what Angie was saying, that's kind of trying to make a you're trying to make sense out of something that don't make sense. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Because the thing with depression is it's not just I'm sad and I'm dwelling on something. It's like real
You're
life,
angry.
I've been in the room with people who are depressed and we've been having a good time, and like that, it's like my day's like this is a bad day. I can't do this. Like
Hmm.
there's no logical reason
Hmm.
to why, and I think that's what people don't understand. That it's like it's not happening because they're thinking about
Of
something.
some
It's happening
things,
because today they woke up and
and it's just a bad day.
yeah.
And I feel like the narrative behind it is, I hate the fact that, and it's like, yes, everybody is responsible for themselves. Yes, I wholeheartedly agree with the fact that you are responsible for your own happiness. I agree. Like, everybody is in a relationship. I do not advise anybody to go into a relationship and put their happiness in a man, because once that man leaves, that happiness is gone right with him. And now you can't breathe because you place your whole life into this person. However, with a person who, I've struggled with depression my entire life. I have bipolar disorder, so it's like my entire life. And sometimes I cannot fight for myself. Like, and I will tell you, like, I need you right now. And I think it's okay. I think for people like me and people who suffer from depression, one of the hardest things is telling people we need them. You know what I mean? And sometimes you need people to fight for you. Sometimes you physically cannot fight your own battle yourself. And it's like, yes, put your battle. It's like, yes,
Give it to Liddy.
I can't physically
Mm.
expect someone else to fight my battles for me. I cannot expect someone else to pick me up. But there's times where like my mom or my sister or even one of my friends have had to physically pick me up, like, carry my weight on their shoulders. And I probably wouldn't have made it if it wasn't for those people in particular. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
like people, I feel like the whole narrative of get through this by yourself, or, focus on yourself, and, you know, whatever the case is, I think that's one of the stigmas with depression and why people don't see us as not necessarily normal people, but see depression as a sickness, because it's like they think it's just, okay, pick yourself up. Like, I can do it, you can do it too. Like, but it's like, okay, but I physically cannot get up out of bed today. Like,
Yeah.
I physically cannot move. Like, it's sometimes it gets paralyzing. Like, and it sounds very dramatic and it sounds very overboard, but sometimes you cannot, your body is like, I don't know if you've ever had like an anxiety attack and you couldn't move. Like, it was just you were stuck. Like,
Like it's too much to handle.
bro, it's just like my body literally cannot physically move right now. Like, you know what I mean? Sometimes you need people, and I feel like it's
Mm-hmm.
okay to be like, I need people. Like, I need people. We all need people,
That's true.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We
So
especially
do.
look,
like with your mental
That's
health.
true.
Like,
We do.
look, I feel like you guys just described what I was talking about, because I think what Angie's talking about is what I was saying about sadness. Like,
Yeah.
she, her description
Mm-hmm.
to me was
it's
exactly
sadness.
what I mean about how I feel about you're sad. People are sad. It's not like maybe that's a level of
Yeah.
depression,
It's not the
but
same.
I don't know the line there. That's
Mm-hmm.
why
Yeah.
that's exactly what I
But
was
there
trying
are
to figure
different
out.
levels of depression,
But
though.
right, so what Tori's
There
talking
is.
about
There
is
is
like
different
a
levels.
different type of
Mm-hmm.
depression. Like maybe is I don't know if it's a different type, but a different thing. Like going through. So exactly.
There's like a
Sorry. Like
manic
a
So,
depression. There's
situation
manic depression.
causing sadness.
so,
You
so the
understand?
the difference
Mm-hmm.
is like there's
Manic.
there's so I feel like people, there's depression and there's like,
Manic depression.
so I wouldn't
We.
necessarily call it manic depression because I feel like that's considered like bipolar disorder.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I think like I said, I think
Well,
there's
that's
sadness
where you
and then
start
there's
to get.
depression, and I think
Mhm.
those are the two different things, because I think depression is a diagnosed, like I think it's like she said, a disease. Like it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
actually something
And I think
that's
that's where
very
people get
different
Yeah,
than,
confused.
well, maybe I know Trina was saying there's different
it
type, like
is.
seasonal, or
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know,
like
There
people
is
have
different
seasonal
types
depression.
of.
Yeah.
situational, but like, yeah, so being sad over a divorce, that is traumatizing.
Yeah, that's
Traumatizing.
like
So
PTSD.
PG, another thing, yes, I'm
Mm-hmm.
I think
Post
these are
traumatic
all things
syndrome.
that people think of them as like when somebody says, "Oh, I'm depressed," you think like, "Oh, they're sad." But I
Yes.
think what you
that's
have to realize it's like it's higher than that. Like this is something that you can't control. So it's like cancer. You can't explain where
That's okay.
cancer
Oh my
came
gosh.
from
Can you
or how
stop
to get
talking
rid of
for
it or
two
what to
seconds?
do about it. It's
That's
just
so
like
crazy.
some stuff works for cancer, but some stuff don't.
That's so
So
crazy
it's
that
a
you said that.
disease. But
That's so
when you
crazy.
say disease, you think of like
Mm-hmm.
bad things, but like it's a mental disorder. So it's like it's a chemical
Mm-hmm.
imbalance in your brain, and that's the
It
and
is.
so trying to apply like a some like you're trying like the only thing I can really think of is like okay, you're trying to make sense of something that just doesn't make sense.
Bro, can I say something?
it's definitely your mic, Adriana. Sorry.
Adriana.
Right.
So when I first got diagnosed with depression, I went to a outpatient therapy group, and I remember telling the person leading the group that like I just was sad. Like, and the only way I can describe it was just like I feel so sad. Like I'm like, and to other people they're just like, okay, like you're sad, get over it. But it's like to me it's like I felt like I was dying. And I told her, I'm like, I wish I had cancer. That was my exact words. Yes. And let me explain to you. I wish I had cancer because I would know I have cancer. I know it's cancer. I know what's killing me. I
Wow,
know
I get
exactly
it.
why I feel like this.
That makes
You
so
get what I'm
much
saying?
sense.
Like I know it's cancer. I know it's diabetes. I know it's the flu. I know why I feel like this. I know what's causing me to feel like that. Like if my bones are hurting because of bone cancer, my bones are not, I'm not gonna sit here like why is my bones like killing me? You know what I mean? I know it's the cancer that's causing this pain. With depression, you wake up and you're sad, and it's like, why do I feel like this? And it's like you're sitting there and you're beating yourself up more because people are asking you what's wrong, and you can't even tell them what's wrong because you don't know. But it's like if you had cancer, you could say, I don't feel good today because I have cancer. It's the cancer. You know what I mean? So it's so funny that she said that because it's like that's crazy.
Yeah, I've definitely had this conversation where
Yeah.
I was like, you someone was saying to me like, "Oh, I'm depressed," and I'm like, "You're not depressed, you're sad." And then I'm talking to other people because now I'm like, "Who am I to be to
Adriana's
tell
on
you who
backstage.
you are or not?" Hmm?
Adriana's backstage.
Oh,
You
thank
gotta
you.
add her.
I think she had
All
ended
right,
up
there we go.
falling off.
You're
It's
muted.
definitely not my mic because you guys are still making the same noise.
Oh, I don't hear it anymore.
Mm.
Oh, but
I
I
do
do.
though. It's like
Yeah,
somebody's mic is going weird.
yeah.
That's
It's not
so
me though.
weird.
It's
Oh,
yours,
and now I
Adriana.
don't hear it at all. So. Oh, yes, I do.
Adriana, it's yours.
I
I
switched. I'm on my phone now, so it's not me. I was on the
It's
computer.
definitely you because I can. You sound like
Okay.
a
First of all,
robot.
it's not me. Bye.
Am I the only person here? She sounds like a robot.
no, she sounded normal to me.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm saying
All
Tori
right.
sounds normal, but Adriana was going out. I don't know.
yeah. I'm like, yeah. You sound a little strange.
Okay, I don't know, guys. Bear with the technology, guys. We're working them. So, all right. Yeah, because I can even
Where'd
hear it
Tree
after
go?
me.
I'm here.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. So, um, let's go. Look, I keep trying to throw Trina in there. Come on, Trina, tell us some of your situations. Like, let's go versus anxiety versus depression. Like, or do you think that you does are they do they coexist? Like I
Yes.
don't feel like I suffer with any type of depression. But I definitely have anxiety. So I think Angie, you said a little bit of both, or
No,
and
I
then
said, and well, mine's is anxiety, and mine's is from
oh,
Bridges.
yours is from what? I missed it.
Bridges, Bridges, driving over the bridge,
My mom has that too.
Oh, okay. So yours is a
driving over a
specific
bridge.
thing. Okay, okay. What about you, Trine?
Yeah, but no, so, no, but
Oh,
I
no.
have certain anxiety. Like when I get like if I'm in a relationship and like things aren't going the way they should be going, it's like I get over. I feel like I'm overwhelmed, and sometimes like when I have anxiety, I can't swallow. Like I feel
Oh,
like I
no.
can't swallow. And yeah, that's the type of anxiety I get. Like whereas though I feel like I'm like trying to swallow. So now I need to grab a bottle of water or something to drink so that I know I can still swallow. Like literally, like it's like I feel like I can't breathe. Like I go through one of those, and it's like go being in a relationship where you know things aren't the way they supposed to be, and you see shit just going downhill, and you're like, hold up, wait a minute. But the more you try to keep the head afloat, you know, you got this damn anchor just trying to pull you down, and you still trying to swim to the top. Now I can't breathe, and I have a problem.
Mm,
So now I have to do something about that situation before it actually makes me go left, where I'm actually starting to feel sad. And then you start thinking. And like one of the things that they always said when they said a mind is a terrible thing to waste, that is so true because you can cause your own infliction You can cause your own illnesses and stuff like that by actually stressing and becoming depressed and being sad and constantly dwelling on other issues. Or like she said, when she wakes up in the morning, she feels sad and she don't know why. But at that point, you have to get to the root of the problem and find out what is actually making you feel this way. Then that's when you can deal with that situation, but you got to deal with it one by one. You can't just tackle everything at once. You got to figure out what the root of the problem is. Now
But can
you
I ask you a
have to
question?
find
I don't
you have to find the
depression. I
mhm,
Can
think
I
with
ask you a question?
depression there is no
So
problem.
what if what would you tell a
mhm,
person who has a chemical imbalance, has never experienced anything bad, has lived the
Mm.
most perfect lifestyle, has no reason, well, has
mhm.
no reason, as people say, to be depressed? What would you tell them? Would you tell them to find the source of the problem? Because there's no source at that point. Their source is the chemical imbalance in their brain. So it's like, what would, like, in that situation, what would you like tell like that person? Like, would you tell them to just get up and push? Like, well, like what I genuinely like.
It let me just say this. It all depends on who it is.
Mhm.
If it's Lily, I'm like, come on, girl, we have to get up. We got to push through this. Let's find out what's going on. Let's get to the root of the problem. Like you said, okay, you have everything going on. You're fine. There's nothing that you know of. But sometimes, let me say this. Sometimes, and I'm not saying anybody else, but sometimes something could have happened to you when you were younger. And what we do is we tend to put that into the back of our mind and try to block it out. But sometimes that thought or whatever has happened come forward. I can't say for everybody. I mean, sometimes people can have all the money in the world and they're still not happy. There's still something going on. Okay, so what is it that you feel? I guess that's when you just gotta search and say, okay, what is it that's making me feel like this? What was my thought? Or what was I thinking about? Or what did I wake up to? You know what I mean?
I
Like,
think I
okay,
feel like
but
you're still not getting that sometimes there's nothing wrong.
Yeah, let's
Like
normalize being sad for no reason.
nothing's
Let's
wrong.
normalize being depressed for
Like
but
no reason.
like
but
you're
that's
And I
but
think
that's why I
struggling
was
and
saying.
that's
But
okay.
that's why I was saying. Mhm. No, that's why I was saying. Sometimes you can have all the money in the world, you can have everything, but you're still not happy. So what is causing you not to be happy? That's
And I
what you
think that's
have to
the thing.
find out. What
And I
is
think that's the
causing
thing
you
with
to feel
depression.
like that?
Sometimes it's not something that's making you feel like that. It's like depression, it's your brain. Like you can't do anything
like
about it.
it's not extreme.
It's like
Like,
just like I said, it's like cancer. Like if somebody came to you and they were like, I'm sick, I have cancer, you wouldn't be like, well, why do you have cancer? Where did the cancer come from? Who gave you this cancer? Let's find the root of the cancer. No, I think we have to look at depression as
an illness,
yeah, like
like
it's
a
a real
disease.
sickness. It's
Like,
not something you can cure with happiness or having good times, because when you firsthand have people in your life who deal with depression. I don't deal with depression. But when you have people in your life who do and you see it firsthand, it's like we could be out having a good time. And so we just had a good day. Our
Mhm.
night's ending off perfectly fine. And tomorrow you wake up and it ain't, like it's not it today just ain't it. And it's not a reason for why you're sad or what, or even oh, you have good things coming up. Oh, this is coming up. You're about to do this. You're about to get this. But it just don't make sense. Like some stuff is not going to make sense for you, and some of it's just like I
Mhm.
don't know. It's like there's no rationalizing depression. I feel like it's just something that some people struggle from and some people don't. And I can honestly say the same thing like what you said, Ma. Like I've had people be like, I'm depressed, and I'm like you're sad. Like you're
Yeah.
sad and you'll get over it. And but then I and so then I've experienced real real life depression where they're like, no, I'm depressed. And I'm like, oh, well, let's do this. And they're like, no, like, I want to die. Like, I don't want to be here. Like, I feel like that's like, you gotta, like, imagine you're sad, like the saddest thing you've ever experienced in your life, right? In that moment, I think, well, like for me, I haven't gone through much traumatic stuff, but I've gone through like sad times. Like, sad stuff happens. And I always have felt like there's a light at the end of the tunnel. But for people with depression,
Absolutely.
there's no light.
Mm.
They don't even want to be in the tunnel anymore. They're like, if I can just be gone, I don't have to deal with this. It's no where I'm like, if I just get a new job, I'll feel better. If I can distract myself, I'll feel better. If I just, like surround myself by better people, I'll feel better. But with depression, there's no they don't even want to have a future to look forward to. They're like, no, this is bad and this is so bad that I don't see a way out of this. Like, you got to think about the fact that somebody really wants to take their life. That's deep.
Yeah.
Like they don't want to be here to
It is
experience any
deep,
of this
but
ever again. So that's got to
but
be like
what is
the point
mhm.
of no return. And so you can't be like, what's making you sad? Because like she said, sometimes it ain't nothing that makes you sad. Some people people start like, depression is not something only adults deal with. So what do you say to a 10-year-old that's
children
dealing with depression? You're like, well, where did that
children
come from?
children right. And you know what, and it's a thing, a lot of children are dealing with a lot of depression, because I've seen where as though my children's friends have taken their lives,
Oh,
have
yeah.
taken their own lives. And yeah, literally. And these are children that my son played football with, my daughter went to school with, they all hung together, and stuff like that. They've actually taken their lives. And it's like, oh my God. But here's the thing, when you talk to them, they do know what makes them like. There was one friend that had a situation where the prom date was like you know refused and things like that, and he actually took his own life, because of that made him sad, and he wrote about it before he took his life. you
But that's
know
when you got
um
to think about, like, do you think they really wanted to kill themselves because their prom date said no, or do you think that was like the tip of the iceberg,
Exactly, because a lot
like
of the
they're
times,
battling?
No,
a lot of the times,
here's the thing, that I think that was the tip of the iceberg, is being rejected so many times, and being rejected by your peers, and them not wanting to be around you or play, hang out
not
with you and things
necessarily
like that.
when you're
And
going
you
through,
Wait a minute.
sorry, when you're going through like a depressive episode, the most minor things feel like the world is ending to you. And when I'm out of I can personally say when I'm out of my depressive episodes and I look back, I'm like, okay, that was not that deep. Like, I definitely overreacted. But because I'm in a depressive mind state, it's the end of the world. And nobody's going to tell me that that's not how I feel right now. Depression makes things feel 10 times worse than they are. And I can tell you that. Like, they do. It does. Like, if I'm in a depressive episode and somebody don't hold the door for me, I'm gonna flip shit because you hate me. Like, you don't see me as a person because you didn't hold the door for me. Like, you hate my guts because you let that door slam on my toes, and you don't like me. You hate me. You hate me. You didn't
And
you
it don't be that deep,
it Adriana, don't be that deep because
but you can't get yourself out of it.
I can't, because it's like that person does not like me because they did not hold that door for me. And everybody in this world hates me because that one person did not hold that door for me. That's how it is.
So,
It's a
and
chain
it
reaction.
doesn't, but that's not coming from when you were a child.
It's
People
not.
hated
It's
you.
not. I'm just having a bad day. Just like how if you're having a regular bad day, somebody I don't know, you woke up and you just woke up groggy today. You woke up on the wrong side of the bed, you're pissed off. I don't know, your husband didn't cook dinner last night. I don't know. And somebody at work say something wrong to you, and now you go off on the person. You know what? F you, whatever the case is. I hate you, whatever. Like, that person did not deserve that. Like, you are just having a bad day. It's that's exactly how it is. Like you're having a bad day and things are just a lot
But
worse.
sometimes it just doesn't come from something.
Exactly. It's nothing. You're depressed and it just
Yeah.
makes shit feels worse.
Angie, you sound a little bit, Angie, you sound like how I was thinking before talking to like Trina and then other people that have been around
Mhm.
people with depression. I kind of sounded like you, like, oh, well, you're sad. You can be like, do things to make yourself feel better, which I think there are things that
There
can
are
help,
there are. It's like
but
basically reprogramming your mind. It takes time, but you can do it. Just like, okay, let me just ask you this, right?
But that's not gonna work
And
for
I'm gonna say
everybody
this
though.
to every
yeah, and I think it's
no
an
no
individual
no
thing too.
I know some people actually have to have medication to actually help them, and I dig it. I've been in the medical profession for over 20 years. I've seen it, I've worked in it, so I know. I understand that sometimes it takes medication, it takes more for a person to get over what, what they're going through. I don't knock nobody. I just, I'm not saying, okay, I'm the strongest person in the world, and I'm not just saying, oh, I bounce back, but I do bounce back. I don't let myself get into deep thoughts where it's actually controlling my everyday life. So I'm the type of person like, oh, hell no, Angie, snap your fingers. Yeah, you can't do this. You know what I'm saying? Because you got the children, you got your, your business. You got to make sure that everything is taken care of. So you have to focus and get yourself right. I'm not saying that everybody is like me. I'm not saying that everybody's situation is like mine, but I'm just saying, talking to somebody, getting the right treatment, going through therapy, counseling. If you need medication, sometimes medication actually helps people, to actually balance them out. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying nothing. I'm not saying, oh, everybody can bounce back, but some people do bounce back from certain things. I'm just saying, me myself, I just, I'm just a little different.
Can I jump in here real quick, guys?
Please.
I feel
Yes,
like
ma'am. Please do.
thank you much, thank you much.
Wait a minute, Trina, before you do it, let's try this, you guys. Everybody mute and just the one person talk so that we can see that staticky, if we can get rid of it for now.
Now I don't hear it anymore.
Okay, okay, go ahead.
My thought was, I don't know if Ange has on jewelry, but every time she moves around, I think it's picking up the sound because she's so close to her computer. But that's just a thought. I don't know. Um, Here's my thing. I feel
Trina,
like we're
you might
looking
be right, Tree. You might be right.
cool beans. I think we're looking at depression like it's this one cookie cutter way of being, reacting, and existing, and it isn't.
Right.
Tori, her depression shows up like this for her. My when I was depressed, it didn't show up like that at all. When I get depressed, I just stay to myself. I don't want to be bothered with anybody, and I don't want to bother anybody with my shit either. You know what I'm saying? So like, it looks very different for a lot of different people, and I think we're kind of we're sort of looking at it like there's just one way to be, and there isn't one way to be. Everybody doesn't want to die when they're depressed. I damn sure didn't. I just was tired of feeling the way I was feeling. And a lot of it was like sort of what Tori was saying, like you kind of sit back and you feel these very deep and hard feelings, and then you get a little introspection and you're like, damn, it really wasn't even that heavy. Like I was tripping. You know what I mean? Once you collect your thoughts in your mind about yourself. So I definitely don't want to, and I feel like none of us are, in a space where we can diagnose anybody or even know the ins and the outs. All we can say is what we've experienced. And so there is no right or wrong way of being. There's no right or wrong way of reacting. I don't think, I think for Angie, like, so for a person like me, Angie would say, nah, sis, you got to keep pushing, because that's how my depression shows up. You can just say to me, come on, let's just do this. Let's go walk. Let's go do this. And I'm gonna be like, all right, cool. Let's do that. And then that worked for me. May not work for Tori, may not work for someone else, but the way my depression shows up, when it does, if it does, those are the things that work for me. It might not work for someone else who's at another level of depression. That's not the first thing I think when I get really sad. When I get really, really sad and really feeling fucked off, the first thing I do is pray. I pray. And if I got to pray for an hour until I relieve those emotions, then that's what I do. And then I give myself permission to feel how in the hell I feel. So if I feel really, really sad and I want to throw me like a 200-person pity party, then that's what I'm going to do. But I always put a time limit on it. I say, okay, well, you feeling like this, give yourself some time to feel like that, and then you got to move on. You got to push forward. That's what I do for myself. I got to push forward. So it really depends on how each person's depression shows up for them. There's no one way that it's going to look for everybody, So that was just my little piece of 2 cents.
No, I think that makes perfect sense, Train, because it really isn't any specific. It's to the individual, and it's not to discredit like, oh, I'm stronger than you, or oh, you're not strong enough, because we're not doing that here at all.
It just shows up. Everybody's situation will show up very different. You might get 1,000 people who may be dealing with about a depression, and 5 of them deal with it how I deal with it. 10 of them deal with it how Tori did it. 5 of them deal with how you deal with it. So 10 of them deal with how, like, you're gonna get a whole array of how people are gonna react to that particular moment, and everything's not gonna be the same. And then, but what I will say is, though, doing things and having things doesn't matter if you're really in a manic depressive state. It ain't gonna do you shit. For example, Robin Williams, all-time actor, Grammy, Oscar-winning actor, the whole shebang, killed himself because he could not find happiness for whatever reason. He couldn't see. He was not able to see tomorrow. He could not see the tunnel, so he blew the whole motherfucker up. He couldn't see it. Do you know what I'm saying? So, but that's another level. He had tried counseling. He had tried antidepressants. He had did all those things, but it didn't. It was nothing was working for him. And I don't know that in those moments when people make those kind of decisions that that's really what they want to do, or if it's just really like, I just feel so incredibly helpless right now that I just don't think that there's anything else to do. Do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So just having things and being in you could be successful, you can have all the money in the world, you can have all these things, but it don't mean shit if you ain't, self-fulfilled. So.
That's true. Yeah. And for me, I feel like the reason why I wanted to do this topic specifically was because I myself, just to be 100, don't understand depression. And I'm dealing with people around me that have all sorts of different types of depression. So to me, I feel like I was a little bit ignorant at some points, like saying stuff like the same type of stuff. It's like, you're fine, or I don't understand that, or discrediting. And it's like, when you take a step back and really listen to different people and different versions of what they're going through, then it's like, you got to hear on a different level. Like, for example, I feel like how Angie was speaking in the beginning, that was more my thought process on a lot of things like this. And then I met people like Tori, and I'm like, wow, she's young. She's not going through a breakup, or, she hasn't had a lot of death in her life, or but yet she still feels sad. And it appears to be sadder than I even have in a breakup or something. And so for me, it's like, oh, okay, this is not, like Trina said, not one, there's no one road. There's like lanes, and it's important because a lot of us need to not get it and try to make try to put this is what it is, and then the people who
make sense of
are going through it don't feel safe or comfortable to share their situations or their stories or their feelings because of like the same stuff. Not saying you, Angie, I'm saying even me. I'm speaking for myself. Like in my life, I've said stuff like, the same type of stuff you were just saying, like literally not word for word, but very clearly that type of stuff. And then I've had people in my life that are like Tori, that are like, girl, no, like, but or either just like offended, like this is why I can't talk to you. And so for me, that's what made me think this is a perfect conversation here, because it's like, especially us as the older ones out here, I think we're very close-minded when it comes to these type of areas, because we're used to things being like, yo, you sad, shake it off, yo, we all sad, deal with it, do something happy and you'll feel happy. But this is a whole new realm of things that is coming to the light by, not, I don't mean to say younger people, but like by, like, in this day and age, it's way more people, and it's more common and more, or I don't know if it's more common, but it's spoke about
The
way
age
more
group
than it ever
under.
was.
Yeah.
And so, if anything else, I hope that from these conversations that we're enlightening other people, or like, or just starting conversations at home, or like if you watch this and you're like, oh no, I don't agree with that, this, and then it might be, you might see a situation similar to somebody on here, and it makes you understand their side. Because for me, I don't want to be looked at as like, oh, she's ignorant, like, or she doesn't give a fuck, because I care. And so I was ignorant, and so I'm still honest, I still am, but I have a little bit more understanding now, or maybe empathy or compassion for people that are just waking up every day and just sad as a bitch and don't know why. Like, I don't know, I want to say like a year ago, I didn't even think,
Right.
not that I didn't think that was a thing, but I felt like I'm sorry, I felt like how, I'm so sorry guys, I get y'all back. Can you still hear me?
I can.
Oh, that's so terrible. I'm so sorry.
Yes.
I'm back. I feel like I lost my whole train because I did that. So sorry. My train of thought just went out. But all I'm saying is I want to keep learning and discussing so that I can be more helpful or have a better understanding of these things. And I want people that are
Right.
suffering to feel safer with me, but just in general with our community, with like, because as mothers and people in the people in this world, we need to listen to what somebody, like, other people's experiences, and be able to absorb it, and not like, I'm only speaking for myself, because
And
I
that
feel like I was closed
does.
minded, and now I'm not. So my goal was to open it up for everybody a little bit like that. So I think this topic has been great. I don't know, I'm gonna go around like I
Right.
usually do.
I mean,
You got any
here's
last things to say? Let's go with Adriana. Anything else?
here's what I wanted to say, because I don't want nobody to misunderstand.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
okay, good. Wait a minute. Sorry, Adriana. Go, Angie. Go ahead, Angie. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay. No, what I wanted to say is that okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Oh, okay. No, what I wanted to say was I don't want anybody to misunderstand me, because I have seen different levels of depression. Like I said, working in the medical field, you do see different levels of it. But like I said, for me, I'm a little different. I'm like, okay, boom, I jump. But like I said, if you need that counseling, that therapy, you must seek it. If you feel like you're feeling suicidal, or you down in the dumps where you just don't care anymore, you do need help. You definitely need help. You need to go and consult your doctor. Your doctor give you a referral to a psychologist, whatever, however. But my thing is like, you do need some type of help. Everybody needs some type of help that's going through some type of depression. Like I said, whether it's medication, just going through counseling, having that therapy, talking to somebody, even sometimes expressing having your friends around close to you. And sometimes when people are going through certain situations, like I said, she don't want to be bothered with nobody. She just stay to herself until she's like, okay, boom, I'm good now. That was nothing. I got over that. So let me move on. So I get it. But, like I'm saying is that there's all different types of depression. Everybody, has their own way of dealing with it. But like I said, if you feeling any type of suicidal thoughts, or if you feeling like you're just at your breaking point, at that point you do need to go and seek count. You do need to go seek your doctor, or just walk into a hospital and say, listen, I'm not feeling right today. I don't know what I may do to myself or to someone else. I'm feeling, I don't know why I woke up sad. I don't know why I woke up angry, but I think I need to be, check myself in and figure out what's going on. I'm saying? So I don't want nobody on here to ever think that, I'm just like, oh no, you need to snap out of it and things like that. No, like I said, that's something that I would say to you, Lil. That's something I say, Trina, come on, let's go for a walk. Come on, let's talk. Let's figure this out. But like you said, not everybody you can do that with, because they don't know why they're feeling the way they're feeling. So I just don't want to leave this conversation saying, oh, she's, not thinking or anything like that. I'm just saying how I deal with certain situations, and I have my beliefs and what I believe in and what I pray on that helps me get through day to day. And sometimes people, everybody don't have that in them, to do that. So I love everyone here. No disrespect to anyone, and I don't want anyone to think that I was, not being sympathetic to the situation
Uh-oh, I think you're breaking up a little bit.
or
Oh
can't
man.
sympathize and stuff.
Oh man. I don't know if it's
Oh,
I
I'm
think
sorry. And for our community, hello, can you hear me?
Mhm. You're breaking
Hello,
up a little
did you do
bit.
something?
No.
Oh, okay.
Adriana and Trina, are you both here?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I can hear you too, but I
Okay,
can't
can you
hear
hear me
her. It's
now?
going in and out.
You
Okay,
sound
you're
choppy
breaking
now.
up, Angie. It's you.
Oh, okay. And oh, I'm sorry.
No, I don't
It's
know what's
me.
happening.
It's probably my
But I'll read.
Let me just stand outside for a
Jody
second.
said our community needs to recognize and
Can you
embrace
hear me?
mental health disorders and how important it is to get help. Prayer does work and is amazing. Our culture sometimes feels that is enough, but God placed therapists and counselors on this earth to help. And I totally agree with that because
Well,
I personally
Ab-
don't
Absolutely.
know enough to be advising anybody to do anything.
Hmm. And that's what I was
I,
saying.
here, let me just
Yeah.
Huh?
jump in real. Let me just jump in real quick,
Yep.
Ange. So, for me, and
Hmm.
again, while um, I agree with Jody that counselors are here to help. Everybody is not on a counselor level. Everybody don't require that, even if they are depressed.
Right.
Even being depressed, sometimes for some of us, speaking for myself,
Hmm.
counseling is not required because I'm not on that level. I encourage anybody who needs counseling to get the counseling
Hmm.
that they need.
Right.
If that's going to help whomever, I
Hmm.
believe in, I'm totally for counseling, doing the things that you need to do to get yourself back whole. I'm all for it. But for me, it's just not necessary. And I don't want us to feel like there's a cookie cutter way. I mean,
Right.
there's no cookie cutter way. There just isn't. I think
Good.
to her point that we have to be a lot more understanding about what's going on, I think she's spot on with that. I feel like rather we call it sad, really sad, or really, really sad, or depression. The
Right.
fact of the matter is, if someone's not feeling complete, if someone's not feeling whole, if someone's feeling less than themselves, that's a goddamn problem. It
Mhm.
needs to be acknowledged and it needs to be addressed, and they need the
Yeah,
support
absolutely.
they're gonna need. And that's just the bottom line. So I think wherever you are, whomever you are, in whatever space you are, if you're feeling whatever way you're feeling, do what's necessary for you to get whole. Whatever works for you, because what works for Ange, what works for Luz,
Exactly.
what works for you, what
Exactly.
works for Tori, it may not work for the girl across the street. It just may not. So you got to do what's going to work best for you. And yeah, that's
Everybody.
probably my parting
Right.
comment.
And Angie, Jody said, you did sound supportive. She said
Right.
it didn't sound
Yeah.
bad at all. She said you did sound supportive. And she said it didn't feel or sound at all like you were like anything else. I'm sorry. I didn't
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't she
Thank
said
you.
she didn't
Tell
need
Jody I said
counseling
thank you so
either.
much.
She said I needed a friend to talk to and pray. My other families and friends needed it desperately. So same thing. She's saying the same thing you just said, Train. Like it's literally individualized. And so that's why I said so many different lanes. It's like we have to really
Right.
individualize each situation because
Mhm.
what may work for you might not work for the next. So we have to, as support or people in the community, family members, whatever, friends, whatever it is, we have to literally listen to the individual going through it and try to work out something with them when at that time.
Mhm.
Because I was gonna I don't think Trina minds if I say this, but so when Trina is going through it, she does not call or say anything, but I'll text her or call. If she's not answering, I know something's going on. I'll just like send a message saying like I'm here or whatever, and I'll wait a while and then check back in. But that's because we have years of a friendship, so I know like when she's going through it, she doesn't want like a bunch of conversation, a
Go
bunch
through it.
of like supportive stuff, like, oh, let's go get a coffee, or like, that's not what works for her. And so I've kind of learned how to like go through it. And now we're to the point where once she's through, she'll
Deal.
look me back like, yeah, we're good. Like got through it or whatever. So that's her individually. But where Angie just said, when she's going through it, she wants you to come get her. Like, girl, let's go walking, let's go. So it's individual. It's all you. But being the person that's trying to support these things, you got to listen to that person because like I said earlier, I found myself trying to tell someone like, oh, like you could do this, you could say like, it's not really depression, it's sadness, and it's like later I realized like it's not my like who am I can't tell you what you're feeling, what you're going through. I need to listen and probably just ask like, how can I help you, like what helps to get through this and things like that. So all I can tell is suggestions on stuff that I'm trying to work on for myself and hope that everybody else can be that type of support as well. I'm sorry, I don't know if I think that was it. All right, so let's try this one more time. You guys don't want to wrap it up. I like that. But we're gonna go
Libby, I
around
can't
one
hear
more
you.
time. Huh? We're gonna go around one more time and just say, Adriana, any final words? Adriana, you there, girl?
Yeah, I'm here. I would just say, just I don't know, be aware of how you talk to people who are going through mental health. But maybe even just be aware of how you talk to people who you don't know what they're going through, because you would hate to be that person that sets them off the edge.
Right. Right.
Sometimes
Absolutely.
some things there's no returning from them. So be aware and be open, like completely open minded to what somebody's going through or what somebody's not sharing with you, because you just never know. And
Right.
sometimes you don't know until it's too late.
Right. Right. All right. What about you, Trina?
I just would double down on what I said. Everybody, get the help you need that fits your shoe best. Get your size shoe for your problem. Don't put on a shoe that don't fit you. And you'll know at I guess you'll figure out what works for you. You know what I mean? It may not happen, overnight, but you'll figure out what works for you and get the help. And also, I just want to say also, there's no shame in getting help.
Right.
Y'all, like if y'all are feeling some kind of
Mm-mm.
way, please just, I mean, even if it's a friend, family, whomever, reach out to somebody. Find you a trusted tribe member and get with them. You have to get you a trusted tribe member,
Right.
even if it's only one.
Mm.
Having a tribe behind you is so very important. So I would say if nothing else, if you're not comfortable with doctors, counselors, therapists, or whatever, find your closest tribe member and sat down and have a conversation.
Mhm.
Right. Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
What about
I've
you,
had very
Ange?
no, I feel the same way. Like we all said. Even Trina just said, everybody's situation is not the same. And like I told everyone, I don't want no one to feel that I'm being a certain way or anything like that. Because like I said, if you feeling like you're at the end of your wits, or you just don't want to live anymore, at that point it's time to walk yourself in that door to a hospital, or you need to grab somebody and say, hey, listen, I need to go to the hospital. I need to talk to somebody. I need some help. you know um I just had a cousin a few weeks ago that committed suicide. And
Mm,
it's no joke, because you wouldn't have thought that this person would have ever done anything like that.
yeah.
But it happens,
It
and
does.
so us speaking on it, so it's like, what would made you that, what will make you to the point where you don't care anymore, and like Tori said, have everything going for you, and you just like wake up one day and say, okay, I'm done. And it's like, and we all sit back and think and say, okay, why would you choose that? Why didn't you talk to somebody? Why didn't you go, and seek treatment? Things like, it's always that question, why? So I mean, dealing with it on a home front basis, it's like, I know that certain things can happen and trigger people to take their own lives and things like that, because depression is deep. And some people go deep into depression where they can't come back, and there's no bringing them back. I've seen family members walk around like zombies. They're on medications, medication after medication after medication. And when you see somebody our age taking all this medication, you're like, oh my God, like, why? And then too, a lot of that medication has side effects. It's there to help you, but it also has its effects on you as well. Well, it can pull you into a deeper depression. It can make you have suicidal thoughts and things like that. And certain medications will that you're on for depression and things like that, it just has it effects on you, different effects. It affects people differently. So that's why I said, all in all, like Trina said, talk to somebody, pull your closest tribe member to you, like Trina said, and say, listen, we need to talk. I need to talk to somebody, and like I said, like Trina said, therapy is not for everybody. And it's not, because, sometimes, like Trina said, I get in my place where I don't want to talk to anybody. Okay, let me deal with my situation here. I don't want to bring my energy to nobody else or anything. I'm just going to stay in my zone right now. And when people call, I'm like, okay, I'm on the phone with my mom. 9 times out of 10, I ain't on the phone with my mother. I'm just in my zone, trying to, okay, what is causing me to sit back and feel like this? Okay, boom, I got it. All right, this too shall pass. Like Trina said, everybody has their own ways of dealing with certain, depression or certain things that makes us sad or puts us in that mindset. So, either you can deal with it on your own or you need to seek help. So that's where I'm at. So seek some help. What's up?
Girl, that was a long ass final word.
Yo, I was thinking you was gonna be on some Russell Simmons, God bless you and good night type of shit, yo. I fucking looked up. I ain't got no more wine in my glass. Yo, what the
Look, Trina,
fuck?
I am on my last. Look, I'm on my last little sip. I'm trying to hold on to it.
Girl. All right, I'm gonna say on that note, I'm gonna say thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna say thank you guys for your input.
I'll drink to that.
Oh, wait a minute. Said Jody, don't be on here acting like Angie's. All right, wait a minute. My Jody's comment is, you came in at the tail end, girl. My experience has been that people truly feel the world, family, etc., are better without them not realizing it is just the opposite. When you see people slipping, try to get them as soon as you can. I've almost lost someone to depression. It's the biggest heartache you can experience. And I totally agree with that. That's why these are the types of situations
Oh,
that
yeah.
made me want to have these conversations. I think we'll do more about, because I was trying to do anxiety and depression. And I realized those are two. We need to do an anxiety one and then a depression one, because there's a lot of this, and this goes too long for it to be just one.
Well,
Like,
certain depression does cause.
look at that. It paused you.
Well, certain depression do cause anxiety, though, Lil.
No,
Certain
you're right.
depression
Well,
do cause anxiety. So,
right, but I'm saying we need to break it up into different segments so that we can go in deep, because
segment.
I think this is great
That's a fact.
topics. But I am gonna end this. I thank you guys for being on. You guys, I'm gonna no, I'll tell y'all that on the next one. I'll see you next week, Monday at 7. All right, good night.
Page.